Sendible has been around for over 10 years. Originally, it's a UK company, but we are now part of the same company as Fanbooster and Loomly, which is US based. That means we've got support staff all over the world, UK, Asia, and the US. Before I get stuck into the demo, I want to show you this resource center down below. A couple of cool things. You always have get started videos here that you can click on and watch inside the dashboard. If you're struggling and want to find out the answer yourself, I'm sure you'll be able to get the answer here. If we've got new features or announcements, we'll add them to here. And if you do want to get in touch with us, you'd use the support resources. So either live chat or to create a support ticket. Sorry, I was logged into our support hub, so let me show you what it would look like on your end. Here's where you can submit a support ticket. Here's where you can work on live chat. And again, it's just more of those resources that I've talked about, all of our features, um, short video tutorials, deeper dive webinars that break down Q&A sessions into some of our most popular features, some more feature articles, tips, and then even our podcast, our new products, case studies, best practices, resources for agencies, and then our feature idea where you can vote for new features on Sendible. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to talk you through the setup part of Sendible. So when you sign up for a trial, you're going to be made the administrator. You can have as many administrators as you like, but they do count towards the user allocation on the plan. Administrators can create user accounts and set permission on what each user is able to do when they're logged into the dashboard. One level below an administrator is the team member. So a team member can collaborate on um, with accounts that you give it access to. So whether you're an agency, you might give an account manager team member status and only give them access to the client you want them to manage. Or if you're a company and you have a team member, but you don't want to give them full admin access, you'd set them up as a team member and fill in their credentials there for them. There's also an automatic workflow capabilities. If one user always needs approval from another user before they post a message, you can set that up automatically. Most people tend to leave that as no and then send important messages for approval via the compose box. If you're an agency and you use the projects on Fanbooster, on Sendible, you'll want to separate your clients out into separate dashboards. Again, these will use up one of the user allocations on your platform. If you'd like to give your clients access, use their credentials here so they can log in, or you might just have it for approval purposes. I'll show you in a minute how you can limit the functionality they're able to see when they're logged in. If you don't want to give your clients access, we still do recommend that you separate your clients out into a separate dashboard, but you can just use an email address that you've made up to manage this account. So the workflow we recommend as an agency is log in as an admin and then switch into that client account when you want to work on their behalf, and only add that client's profile to that user account. Your client can also log in themselves, but there is an audit trail to show whether you've logged in as an admin and switched into that client account and done the work, or the client has logged in themselves and posted or approved. So just go back to my admin panel and show you the permissions group that I mentioned earlier. So you can set up as many permission groups as you like. So if I want to set up client access, but I don't want them to see the reports, just give it a title. And then I just tick the boxes of the functionality I would like them to have. I want them to post, monitor, I don't want them to see the reports. I do want them to engage. I want them to be able to add their own profiles and access the content. I then look for that client account, and I then edit that client's permissions. So when that client logs in, some of the functionality is going to be hidden, as you can see here. So I've hidden everything, most things except for publishing here for this client. Oh, let me just refresh that to give you the actual permissions. Yeah, so as you can see, the only thing I actually hid when I showed you there was the reporting section. Switch back to my own account now, and let's talk about adding social profiles. In Sendible, you're able to manage Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business, YouTube, and Pinterest. You're also able to publish to WordPress. So whether you're a small company and you only manage a few pages yourself, or you have a few team members and you want to add all your social profiles in one user account, or you're a client and you want to add all your clients' social networks here, it's really easy to add the social accounts. When you click on add, for example, here on Facebook, click on setup. When you click setup, not only are you going to add the ability to post to a Facebook page, it's also automatically going to add some engaged streams where you can read comments and reply to direct messages. And within 24 hours, we'll start gathering reports. While we don't allow you to post to ads, you can read and respond to comments on ads, and you can post to Facebook groups. With Instagram, you can post directly to Instagram Business if it's a normal photo or video. If it's something like a story or a carousel, it is a push notification instead. So you download our app and then push notification from our app into Instagram. Similar setups for Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business. So like I said, if you're an agency, you switch into that account and only add that client's profiles into that client account. If you just want to collaborate with your team members, you may only want to set up the profiles in your user account and then share them with the other team members. Sharing is a nice security feature. So for example, you want your colleague to be able to post to this Facebook page, but you don't have to change anything on Facebook Business Manager or anything like that. So Alfie would only be able to post to that Facebook page when he logs into his Sendible account. And if I ever want to take away access, I just do that. You can also group together profiles in a profile list. So if you're always posting to the same 5 or 10 profiles one place, create a profile list and that'll be available in the compose box. It's the first part of the presets functionality that you have in Fanbooster, although you're not then able to tag content to these groups. We've got a cool unique feature called Client Connect, which allows you to create a widget. You can then decide which social networks you want to be able to access through this widget. And then you create this simple piece of code which can be added to a website, a landing page, or an email, and then shown to your clients. That way your clients can authorize you to post to their pages without ever giving you passwords or coming into the dashboard. So that's really all about the setup. So I'm going to move on to composing and scheduling content. Please remember to use the questions tab if you do have any questions. Okay, so you click on compose and you can of course post to one page at a time. You can post similar content across multiple Facebook pages, or you can use what we call our smart post functionality, which allows you to post similar content across multiple platforms, but then slightly change them based on the rules of each social account. So in this case, I'm going to post to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I put the message in the original tab. first show you how we deal with links, then images, then video. So I'm going to grab a link from our own Sendible blog, really interesting blog, best practices for companies and a lot of content for agencies as well. So get the most recent one from yesterday and copy and paste that into the original tab. Then I just click through into Facebook and then customize Facebook. Maybe I'll tag in Facebook page. On Twitter, I might start typing some hashtags and we'll give you some recommendations of trending hashtags. LinkedIn, again, you might just want to tag in somebody or page. And as you can see here now, there's a warning message for Instagram because as you will probably all know, you must have an image or video when posting to Instagram. So we give you that warning and then we ask you to add an image or video. So whether it's Instagram or any of the platforms, you can add images from your computer files. You can search the internet. The media library is where we store images that you've sent before so you can reuse them. You'll never run out of space. We also integrate with Dropbox, Google Drive, Canva, so you can sign into your Canva account and create a unique image, Flickr, and you can add links from a YouTube account. So I'm just going to add an image I've used previously, click attach. If this was the wrong size or dimension, we would give you a warning. So this is the right dimension, but I can see it's not quite right. So I use our own image editor to move it into place. And if I like, I can add filters, text, stickers, whatever I want to do here. Then you can add hashtags in the body of the message or as a first comment. You can tag the location you're posting from. And then before you send any of the messages, I'd recommend to look at the preview to see what it's going to look like on each platform before you send it. I can send it straight away. I can send to somebody for approval, internally to a team member, send it to my client for approval. They'd get an email asking them to approve, reject, or leave a comment. It would also appear as a task inside the dashboard. And of course, like every tool, there's scheduling options, anytime in the future, repeat, and set optimal time. I would only use the optimal time if I was posting to one social network at a time. It would aggregate these together and not make much sense. Here is also a queue functionality, so where you can set up queues with preset times in those queues. And then instead of posting the message straight away or scheduling it, you add it to that queue and it will release from that queue at the next available given time slot. Here is where you can also schedule in bulk, either from a CSV file that you can download or directly in this feature here. So you could put one message to go out once a day, for example, for the next month, and do it directly here, or download our CSV template and then upload it in. Once you do schedule a message, it's going to go into your calendar. As an admin, you're able to see everyone's calendar, whether it's team members or clients in one place, or you can filter just to look at one at a time. It's color coded for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and you'll see the initial for either the team member or the client here as well. If you want to see the images that come with the post, either look at the weekly or daily view. In the publish section, you can also access the queues that I've just shown you. You can, for example, recycle or refresh a queue. You can see your previously sent messages, maybe to repost a nice successful message. Anything for any reason, it's undelivered. So Sendible has worked over the last 12 to 18 months to be the most reliable tool on the market. So we'll try and either pre-warn you in the compose box before you send a message for a reason it's not going to hit its intended target, or we'll give you a notification here If for some reason it doesn't hit its intended target, again, you'll get an undelivered message. But we've got the best rate in the industry. Drafts here and the aforementioned tasks, so you can send somebody a message to approve or assign someone an inbound message to deal with. So that's pretty much all the functionality, or most of the functionality, when it comes to composing and scheduling. Just going to pause the screen share and check if there's been any questions. Okay, someone has asked, are hashtags been able to store? Yes, I'll show you in a few minutes where you can store hashtags in the content library. Can Sendible accommodate emojis? Yes, sorry, I didn't show you that in the compose box, but yes, we've got lots of all those most common emojis you can use. Eric has asked, so client accounts count as users and admin team members also count as users? Yes, that's correct. That is different than Fanbooster. I know it was more users and then projects. Do remember that Sendible is committed to price match. So if you've got an issue, don't have enough users that you need, let the team sales@sendible.com know, and we'll see what we can do with regards to discounts. Please cover bulk scheduling, formatting of CSV files, and functionality. I think I went over that already. Can Sendible accommodate yay text formatting? I actually don't know what yay text is, so I'm unsure of the answer to that. 10 clients, 14 members would be 14 users. Eric, yes. Can you show how we migrate our previous post from Fanbooster to Sendible? So I don't have a Fanbooster account, but I do have an article that I can show you that describes how you can do that. And then you can, I can show you how you could upload it into Sendible. Okay, so I'll add that link into the chat later on. But since I don't have access to a Fanbooster account, I won't be able to show you that. I know that the guys over in Fanbooster will be able to help. I know they also did a Fanbooster Q&A session yesterday, and if you ask somebody in Fanbooster, they'll be able to send you a recording of that. Eric has asked about bundles of users and team members on every plan. We'll go over that towards the end. All right, I'm going to share my screen again and continue with the demo. Okay, so a couple of things I didn't show you quickly was the emojis and somebody asked me about storing hashtags. So you would store those hashtags in the My Content section. So under My Content, you can have as many content libraries as you like. So in a content, you give it a name, and then consumers are users or clients on the dashboard that can use this content. Maybe the content is relevant for more than one client. And contributors are users that can add content into that library. And then you just start adding the content. So if you've got a list of hashtags already, just copy and paste them into here, and then they'll appear here. Then you can access them from the compose box, where you can add images or whatever needs to be. Other ways to use the content library is evergreen content, collaborating with clients, canned responses, anything like that. One cool feature of the content library is every content library has a unique email address. So if you're ever out and about taking photos on your phone, for example, but you don't want to store them, Send them to this email address and they'll be stored in this content library. So only clients who you've given access to that library will be able to retrieve the content either from their My Content section or the content section here. So I search for the library I want to look at and then add in the content. Other parts of content are the suggested content. So we recommend some topics here, but the real bit is hidden over in the top right-hand corner. Put in a topic that you are interested in. And then we're going to bring in some trending articles for you to read or share here. So you could click that share, brings up that familiar looking compose box, and you can choose to post it to whatever social platforms, schedule it, or save it for later, or add it to a content library that we've just discussed. You then save that topic for future reference, and it'll bring up a list of influencers based on that topic as well. If you just want articles with videos or from this week, you'll be able to see that too. We decide that if the articles are trending by how often they've been shared on Twitter. The other way to get content into Sendible is if you're already familiar with a blog site or RSS feed and you want their new blogs to come into Sendible, you either put in the RSS feed or the URL or search for a topic here. And then we can bring those articles in. So what we're going to do here is just add some topics that I'm interested in. And then I can share one article at a time from here. Or I can even set up an automation to take from that feed, redirect, for example, to my Facebook page once a day. So that is the content section. So we're getting it quite tight on time, so I'm quickly going to move on to activity. So there's two main parts to the engage section, the priority inbox. You get to choose what's a priority for you when you're adding the social profiles. It will ask you when you're adding a profile, would you like to receive alerts in the priority inbox? The priority inbox therefore is going to be a mixture of the messages from the profiles that you want to appear here. Depending on the profile, you'll have different functionality, read, reply, assign to somebody else in your team to deal with. Why people don't just use the priority inbox is because it's not in real time. There might be a delay of up to an hour. If you do want real time feeds, we also automatically add them here. So you'll have Facebook home feed, direct messenger feeds. You'll have LinkedIn company pages where you can respond to messages, Twitter accounts where you can see home feed, direct mentions, at mentions, all your followers in one place. For now, you can only read the Instagram messages. You're not able to respond or leave comments. The monitor section is a pretty basic keyword monitoring functionality. You set up a new alert. Within 24 hours, you'll start gathering the results. And it's mainly going to be, results are going to be on Twitter. There is a sentiment analysis here, which will show if the general tone of the message is positive, negative, or neutral. So there's tools out there that solely focus on social media monitoring. They cost a fortune. If you really need really accurate social media monitoring, this is not the right feature. If you're just looking for a quick snapshot, that will definitely work. And lastly, I'm going to go to the reports. So there's two main parts of the reports, the pre-built reports under the Engage Hub, and then customized reports under My Reports. So if you're managing multiple clients, you would switch into their account, and then we have a pre-built engagement report, which is a nice top-line report showing the engagement for that client's, in this case, 8+3, 11 social profiles, aggregates them for the date range that you choose. So top line engagement metrics across all that clients platforms. Then if you want to dig a bit deeper, there's a nice pre-built report for all the major social networks. Here I'm showing you our own Sendible Facebook fan page for last month. Really nice top 15 graphs that most of our users like to see in this pre-built static report. If you want to know what any of these metrics mean, there'll always be a cheat sheet here. So there's going to be nice pre-built reports for the main social networks, but if you want to have a custom report, you can either build one from scratch or you can start with this report here and build on top of it. So let's say I want to build a report for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And now transfer those 15 Facebook graphs over into the report builder. So from here, I can either move some around, delete some, or build on top of it. So I can build on top of it with more Facebook metrics from that page. So like I said, there's 15 there already, but there's over 75 graphs available. So I can add more Facebook metrics on top of that, or maybe I'm happy with the Facebook, so I move on to Instagram and add the metrics that I want to report on from Instagram. Once I'm done with Instagram, separate with a profile header and then add Twitter. And then add the metrics that are important to you, your boss, or your clients, separate with a profile header. Then you can add a cover photo or logo that's going to have your contact details or anyone's contact details here. Now, in a couple of minutes, I've built a custom report for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I can either save this. What most people tend to do is automate the email to go out to you directly to check, send it to your boss or to your clients. An updated version can go out daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly. So the first of every month, maybe. Or what some people like to do instead is get this live link, share that whoever needs to see the report, and whenever that person wants to see an updated live metrics, they can come to this link. The last bit of the reporting is just all the raw data is there for you to export and do with what you want with yourself. So that's the quick overview of all the main features. I'll stay on a few more minutes to answer the last of the questions. After that, if you have more questions, please email sales@sendible.com. Okay, I'll share my screen again to talk about the pricing. Chris, if you could email about Yay text formats to support@sendible.com and they'll have to answer that for you. In the feed, you can interact for some platforms, but not Instagram. Yes, that's correct. You can do Facebook, Twitter, YouTube comments, even LinkedIn. Can you download the report data? Yes, I think I've shown you that already. Does Instagram not have direct posting? Yes, you can post directly to Instagram using Sendible if it's a normal post or video. If it's something like a story or carousel, it's more of a reminder. So I'm going to share my screen again. Does the app allow real-time monitoring of comments and messages? Yes. Let me show you the direct posting to Instagram again and the real-time monitoring before I show the pricing. So the real-time monitoring is actually done in the social feeds here. Direct posting to Instagram will work fine. You just need to make sure you have an Instagram business account, and then you can post directly whether it's an image or video. So in this case, I'll just add a video. Depending on what platform you're posting, you'll have different options for the thumbnails, etc. for the video. Okay, and lastly, I'll take you to the pricing. So you should sign up for a Sendible trial, depending on how many users and clients you're managing. If the account then is more than you're currently paying on Fanbooster, or you need more users than it's advertised here, let us know and we'll be able to add users, maybe put you on a custom plan and add a discount to price match for the first 12 months. And you can add bundles by adding more users to any of these accounts. You'll be able to do that inside your dashboard from the subscription section here. Always be able to add a user. Each user will come with then a certain number of profiles and will increase the cost. Okay, so we've gone a little over. Any further questions you can send to sales@sendible.com. If it's more about a technical issue, I would recommend getting in contact with our great support team. Answer the last of the questions. Can you get alerts to comments on feeds? You can get alerts to new messages if you by email if you set that up when you're adding a social profile, and you get alerts to anything that comes into your priority inbox. Are we able to migrate our fan booster information over to Sendible? Only your scheduled messages. Everything else you'll have to start with again. So adding the users, you'll have to re-authenticate your social profiles. Does Sendible Real-Time Monitor also work for the Android app? I'm not as familiar with the app, so I'll have to get back to you on that one, Chris. All right, thanks everyone for joining me today. Like I said, this was recorded and will be sent over to you, and you can follow up with any sales type questions to sales@sendible.com and any support type questions to support@sendible.com. Thanks very much for joining today.